What's up, all my art students out there? I'm going to go ahead and give you a demonstration on the next two rough drafts. This is a practice grid and a practice transfer. This means you're going to draw a grid on a drawing, of which I've provided, and then you're going to make another grid of the same size on another sheet of paper, and you're going to transfer all the lines from the drawing using the grid to the blank grid that you drew on a separate sheet of paper. Now, this is a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning one is the same size as the other one. We're eventually going to create a 1-to-3 ratio, which means you have the original, the 1, and you're going to multiply everything times 3 to make it 3 times bigger. 1, 2, 3 means you multiply everything times 3 to get it bigger. Some supplies you're going to need to complete this rough draft is you're going to need a ruler. You're going to need a pencil. If you want to make a grid and you want to make nice, smooth, clean lines, I suggest you use a mechanical pencil. This is not what I normally say. Normally I hate mechanical pencils and I would not encourage the use of them, but you can use a mechanical pencil for this one. I'm going to be using just a good old-fashioned number 2 Ticonderoga pencil. Make sure it's very sharp. I should have provided a 5" by 5" square, a picture, a drawing, and then of course just a blank sheet of paper. Please pay close attention because this video is going to require very small details that you're going to have to pay attention to. If you just copy me exactly as I'm doing inside this video, you'll do great, no worries. If you have any questions or problems, you're welcome to email me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the overhead view so you can see exactly what's going on. All right. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a really simple grid right off the bat. So I got my 5" by 5" card right here, and then I have a blank sheet of paper and I have my ruler. So you're just going to take your 5" by 5" card, you're going to put it on a blank sheet of paper, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace around this. And I'm going to show you guys how to use a ruler, how to measure with the ruler. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 5" by 5" square and turn it into a 1/2" grid. When I say 1/2", let me show you what I'm talking about really fast. Let me zoom in. So if you look really closely here at the ruler, a lot of my students think that the edge of the ruler is the 0 line. That is not true. This is the 0 line, which means I'm starting from here and working that direction to start measuring space or measuring a distance. So I'm going to take the edge right here and put it on my 0 line right there. So I'm going to make sure it's nice and accurate, and I'm going to travel every 1/2" and make a mark. So from here to here is 1 inch. And then from here to here is 2 inches and 3 inches and so forth. But I'm going to travel every 1/2" and make a mark. So I'm going to travel 1/2, which is right here, and make a mark. I'm going to travel another 1/2 and make a mark. Another 1/2 and make a mark. Another 1/2 and make a mark. 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. I go to 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. And you'll notice if I go to the 5, my 5 is actually on that line. You don't have to make a mark here because that's where it ends. Now I'm going to go and do it to the other side. Make sure your 0 line is on that line, which it is. And then I'm going to make a mark every 1/2". Now, in order to make a grid, we're going to have to start matching up these lines, which means I'm going to start right here with these 2 dots, and I'm going to make a line between this dot and that dot. And I'm going to make it nice and straight and nice and clean. I'm going to go down to those 2 and make a line. I'm going to go down to those 2 and make a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to take this edge of the ruler and make it touch both this hatch mark and this hatch mark. I'm going to make it touch. And when it touches, I'm going to draw a line. So I'm going to get really close again to make sure everyone can see. Try to be as precise as possible. So take your time. There we are. Just like that. And then just go right down and match up each one of those hatch marks and make a line. Make sure to hold your ruler nice and tight. Don't let it move. For those of you using a mechanical pencil, you'll see why mechanical pencil is really handy for this process. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're just going to turn it this way. And again, I'm going to start with these two, and I'm just going to work my way down just as before. When you get to this point, when you finish up with this grid, you're then going to take the same process and put it on your drawing. In this case, it's my Mona Lisa. I'm going to take the same style grid, and I'm just going to put it right on top of the Mona Lisa, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that too. Now, this is going to be a little bit trickier because these hatch marks right here, they're going to get lost whenever you start getting in here. So you got to make these hatch marks really bold and big. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Do the same thing, but I'm just going to put it over here. Okay, so at this point you've just completed your blank grid and you've completed your grid on your Mona Lisa. Your blank grid counts as a rough draft grade. So whenever you get done with it, don't put it in your art portfolio just yet. Go ahead and transfer the image here to the blank grid. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how to transfer the image from this grid to the blank grid one square at a time. So that's my next video, and thanks.